The High Council of the Zarnathi Empire convened under the great crystal dome of the capital world, Cthulhuun, their many eyes glinting with unease. News had traveled fast. Too fast. A patrol fleet had vanished. Not damaged, not crippled. Vanished. No distress signal, no wreckage, just gone. And the last transmission chilled even the oldest of them. "It's not one of ours," the Admiral's voice had said, panicked. "By the stars, they don't have ships like that. Humans don't—" Then silence. The message was repeated over and over again on every channel. Even now, the Council played it in the background, like a cursed lullaby. High Chancellor Varkilun twisted his tendrils nervously. "There is no record," he hissed to the assembled dignitaries, "of Earth possessing this level of technology. Their last vessel class was a crude ion-warp fusion hybrid. We monitored them. They are decades behind." "Centuries," corrected Lord Chodrex, his scales paling. "Their last known fleet barely pierced mid-range systems. Their planetary economy was still dependent on combustion energy." "So what in the 9 nebulas did they fly out there?" hissed another counselor. That was the question burning through every heart in the chamber. Because whatever it was, one thing was clear. It tore through a fully armed Empire fleet like they were paper dolls. Captain Rhea Morgan stood in the dim bridge of the Ghost Light, Earth's most classified vessel. Her knuckles were white on the command rail, eyes fixed on the swirling mass of stars that wrapped around the ship's stealth shell like water. They were deep inside Zarnathi space, and not a single system knew they were there. "Status?" she asked, voice low. "No pingback from the Empire's sensors," said Lieutenant Vargas from Ops. "Cloaking field is holding. Energy signatures fully masked. We're still a ghost." Ghostlight was the pinnacle of human desperation, a last-ditch black project built in the shadows of Earth's growing fear. Aliens didn't care much about humans, until they discovered how fast Earth was learning. The Empire's sudden embargo on Terran tech imports wasn't just economic, it was fear. They didn't want humanity catching up. They didn't realize they already had. The ship itself wasn't massive. It didn't need to be. Its hull was layered with photonic crystals that bent light and masked heat. Its drive ran on a quantum-entangled gravity loop, a human breakthrough so impossible, even Earth's own scientists weren't fully sure why it worked. But it did. And in field tests, it let Ghostlight move like nothing else in the galaxy. 1 second here, next second 10 light-years away. No trail, no wake, just gone. And it was armed with weapons that shouldn't exist. "They called us backward," Rhea said softly, pacing the bridge. "And that gave us time. Time to build without their eyes watching." "Time to get mad," muttered Vargas. The Ghostlight had just returned from its first test. The mission: intercept an Empire patrol near the Raiden Rift, observe, retreat, but the patrol locked weapons, warned them to surrender. They fired first, and the humans answered with fire the galaxy had never seen. Nanite-fused rail bursts, plasma-threading lasers, a wormhole compression bomb that turned half the patrol into dark matter foam. Now there were rumors spreading through the Empire's edge colonies, ghost stories, whispers of a Terran ship that came from nowhere, struck without warning, and vanished like smoke. The Empire had faced countless rebellions, millions of species, billions of battles. But this felt different. Because for the first time, they didn't know what they were fighting. And worse, they didn't even know where the humans got the tech. Back on Cthulhuun, panic spread quietly through the highest ranks. The Empire had ruled this quadrant for over 3,000 years. No species had ever outpaced them once conquered. Earth had been under their observation since first contact, mostly ignored, mocked. Now that same planet had sent a vessel deep into their core systems, without detection, and destroyed a fleet. What if that's not their only ship? asked one of the younger counselors. That silence that followed was heavier than gravity, because none of them wanted to say what came next. What if humans had an entire fleet like that? What if they'd been preparing all along? Hea sat in her quarters, the lights dimmed to a pale amber glow. The hum of Ghostlight's quantum core was a constant, like a quiet storm beneath her feet. She didn't sleep much anymore. Not since the mission. Not since she saw the way those Zarnathi ships broke apart. Not exploded. Not scattered. Unraveled. It had been one strike, one weapon. The compression bomb had triggered a gravitational inversion that pulled the ships inside themselves like collapsing lungs. No flames, no wreckage, just silence. And yet, she didn't feel victory. She felt watched. The kind of watched that came from knowing your enemy wasn't dead. They were just quiet. Her terminal buzzed softly. A secure transmission blinked onto the screen. The face that appeared was older, lined with worry, with graying hair and eyes that had seen the darker parts of humanity. Admiral Harlan Bishop. "Captain Morgan," he said, voice low. "We have a problem." She leaned forward. "The patrol? They've declared it a terrorist act. They're blaming it on a rogue civilization, not us." Her brows furrowed. "Why hide it?" "Because they're terrified," Bishop said. "If they admit what really happened, they'll have to admit they lost control. And their entire rule is built on fear, on superiority." Rhea felt a cold knot tighten in her chest. "Then they'll come looking." "They already are," he said grimly. "We intercepted chatter on their long-range relays. They're pulling their border reavers from stasis. Haven't used them in centuries. Those things are illegal under every treaty. They wrote the treaties, Rhea. You think they care?" Meanwhile, in the outer ring of the Empire's border worlds, dread was beginning to rot the usual arrogance. On the planet Tsarka Prime, a strategic mining colony